All right, anybody have any idea what this noise is? It only does it on the driver's side. Like right here on the driver's side is the worst. If I come to the middle, it's not as bad. And I'll come to the passenger side. There's no noise. I don't know what this stupid clunk is, but it's driving me nuts. It's like over every little bump, you can hear it. It almost feels like a wheel is loose, or like something is like something sounds loose. I don't know what it is, but I'm about to throw it on the lift and figure it out. Had to stop for supplies. Important stuff. Alright, car's on the lift. Got my new license plates this morning. Paid sales tax or theft, whatever you want to call it. So this stupid clunk, I got it figured out. Wasn't real sure to begin with. I initially thought it might have been something with the steering rack, like the bolt backed out or snapped off or something, but just got under here and just started jiggling stuff and finally worked my way around to this side of the sway bar. There's my clunk. So I'm gonna have to pull the wheel off, figure out exactly what it is. Something in the end link, maybe the end link itself, or maybe I just don't have it tightened down good enough. But we'll get that figured out. All right, so here is the plan for today. We have our GT500 Brembos, Stop Tech drilled slotted rotors. Not my first choice, but I bought these used, and that's what came with it. So we're gonna run them. Brembo calipers. It's just some power stop. This is just some street pads. These will definitely need to be upgraded later, but just to get this thing, just get it on the track for the first time, we're gonna run these. We're still gonna use the stock brakes on the back, so those rotors and pads will be addressed at some point too. Haven't quite decided what I wanna go with on that. Gonna go ahead and flush all the fluid. Who knows how old it is. We're gonna use the ATE blue. It's not really blue anymore, you know, because the government got involved. But normally on my other Mustang, I run the Motul 600 fluid, you know, which is great fluid. It's just a little bit more expensive, being that this is going to be a budget car. We're gonna run this. So, you know, from what everyone says, you just keep it flushed and, you know, it shouldn't be an issue. I'm not a professional driver, so I might not get it hot enough to even worry about it. Here are this is the white line rear lower control arms and Panhard bar. These came in yesterday. To say this stuff is beefy would be a huge understatement. I've seen off-road parts not built this heavy and this thick. I mean, this thing is a solid couple pounds right here. So very beefy stuff. Have no concerns at all about that handling track use. So I can see why people run it. Here is the rear sway bar, matches the front. This is used. I bought this as a set with the front, so I've got a pretty good deal on it. I was kind of debating whether or not I wanted to run the rear bar. I know that some S197 guys actually go to a smaller rear bar or no bar at all. But since I'm on stock springs at the moment, I'm gonna try it out and see what happens. It's adjustable, so I'm gonna start it out on the softest setting, and probably have to go up on the front to help balance it out. But I'm gonna get started tearing this stuff apart. Alright, I just want to show you guys something real quick. Got everything sprayed down, WD-40, all the bolts. So I'm taking the rear sway bar off, the end link. Now notice, look how much play is in this thing. I mean, this is not doing anything. So, I know some of you guys are on the fence about pulling the rear bar off. I mean, if it has as much play in it as this, I say go for it because it's not doing anything anyway. At least replace the end links if you're not going to replace the rear bar. So that's my 2 cents. All right, so we ran into an issue already. Actually, very first bolt I tried to take out. So this is the sleeve. It's a little metal sleeve that goes inside the bushing of the sway bar end link, and it has come unattached from the end link, so it is seized up onto the bolt, so I can't get the bolt out. So I did get the other side off. So I don't know, I'm gonna try to either see if I can get something on there to hold that and maybe try to break it loose from the bolt itself, or last resort, I'm gonna have to cut it out. So it's not how I wanted to start today off, but we'll see what I come up with. All right, really no luck getting that stupid thing out, and I don't feel like playing with it all day, so I'm gonna introduce him to a friend of mine. All right, so cut the head of it off. Rather I cut through there and the head popped off. So I'm gonna hammer that out through the other side, is the plan. Hopefully that works. But for those people that don't, I'd say most people that watch this channel don't know me personally, but I used to build custom cars for a living. I restored like, 60s, 70s Pro Touring cars, Camaros, Mustangs, old C10s, stuff like that. This stuff happens all the time. So when you're getting mad, at somebody, they say they quote you a price and it runs over that. We can't predict every little scenario that might happen. I just replaced the front control arms the other day and really no problems with that. Come back here and very first bolt I try to get out is seized up into that metal sleeve. So, we can't predict the future. Don't get mad at these guys working on your car because stuff comes up, stuff happens. This car is only a 2007. If you, you're having a 60-something Camaro, restored, this little stuff is gonna happen a lot more. So just keep that in mind when you're paying somebody to do work for you. All right, so trying to hammer that through and it's not coming out. That sleeve is completely seized up on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut the other side off this bolt, and that'll be the easiest way to get this thing done. Rear sway bar's off, so just went ahead and cut that bolt out. So now we can look at them side by side with the stock bar compared to the white line bar. So the main difference on this, your stock bar attaches to the body by these end links, and then it attaches to the lower shock mount here on the axle. So bolts here and then to the body, right? Sorry, up there. So the white line bar, it's actually going to bolt to the axle, these U-bolts. And then the end links are going to go to the body. So the main difference is the outer, instead of it bolting to the lower shock mount, it's gonna bolt to the axle itself, to the axle tube. So this is gonna give you like more tire clearance on the back. If you, which the new tires going on here are 315 30 18s on an 11-inch wheel, and they fit fine with the stock bar. But if you're gonna go bigger than that, I think you need to relocate the, or you need to switch to this style of sway bar just to free up that clearance. So I'm gonna get this, actually I'm gonna go ahead and get the lower control arms next. Maybe the Panhard bar. I don't know, so many options. I'm gonna start working on something. All right, so I went with the Panhard bar first. Hope you weren't wanting the control arms first. You just have to keep watching. So the bushings on this really aren't as bad as the control arms. I mean, they're still not great. You know, it's starting to dry rot and the rubber's all cracked. So it's time to replace it. Plus, the whole reason behind replacing this is the plan is to lower the car. And once you lower the car, then you have to replace this because you need an adjustable one. That way you can recenter the axle, because the way the Panhard bar works is when it's level is in the center of its swing. So if you lower the car, it's gonna pull it to one side or to the other. So then you need to adjust it. That way you can make it parallel again with the ground. So the white line bar, double adjustable, as it should be. If you have a company and you do not do this, I'm not giving you my money. So make the stuff adjustable on the car. A lot of these, this will not be double adjustable. So that means that the threads on each side are opposite of each other. So you can leave both sides bolted to the car, unlock these jam nuts, and adjust this, and it's gonna slide together or farther apart. So some companies, what they will do is basically cheap out on it, and they will only do a single thread here, and that means you have to unbolt one side or the other and twist that side out. So don't do that. Buy good products and make good products. So I'm gonna get this thrown back on the car, and then next is the control arms. All right, starting on the control arms, Panhard bar is in, and I set it to the same length as the factory bar. Instructions say it comes preset to factory length, and that is false. So I had to adjust that. So for the lower control arms, the parking brake cable runs right through the center of the control arm. So it's easy to take off. You just have to pull this clip. It'll pull straight out this way. And then you just pull the cable loose and just pull it out of that. All right, first control arm is off. Look at this freaking bushing, guys. Holy shit. Yeah, so this thing has seen better days, obviously. So these are just really just thin, pretty weak control arms. Compare that to the white line control arms. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by White Line. I'm not getting any kind of discount from White Line. I actually ordered these through CJ Pony Parts because they had a coupon code that I could find. So I'm not trying to push White Line on you guys, but on the other hand, Vorschlag, they build a lot of pretty badass Mustangs, and they sell White Line. Their stuff gets raced. The stuff they build gets raced. So that's good enough for me. So plus, I mean, it's cheaper than pretty much all the other brands. It's cheaper than BMR. It's cheaper than the Ford. It's cheaper than Steeda. So cheap and good. I am happy with that combination. So has some pretty nice bushings. I think these are, they call their Max C bushings. I haven't looked too far into it, but I believe this gives you like a lot better articulation than just a standard just polyurethane bushing. It's kind of like a cross between just a polyurethane bushing and then like a Heim joint. So this is somewhere in the middle between those two. So that's going to keep it from binding up, but it's also going to keep it, you know, like a nice ride. You know, if you go to just Heim joints all the way around, it makes a really harsh ride, and you don't want that either. So this is a car, you know, it's mainly a track car, but I want to drive it to the track. And Heartland Park, for instance, is 2 hours away from me. So I want to enjoy the ride there. You know, I still drive it to work on occasion, so I don't want it to be full race car. I have a full race car. So we'll get this thrown on and do the other side. All right, video's running long, so I'm gonna split it up into 2 parts. Click the link for part 2.